Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's me, Lucas. And this is another chapter, another talk in what I'm calling an introduction to the Alchemy of Dreamwork course, a multi part series of teachings to share with you this amazing practice of night school, learning to remember your dreams, to co create your own unique dream language with that part of you that connects with you when your mind is really still. And for most people, that's when we're sleeping. And beyond that, to co create in your dreams and lucid dreams a future, a reality, an experience, which later shows up in the waking dream of your life. This is absolutely a pathway to mastery, to deep self awareness. And that's not only the personal self I'm pointing to, it's also the self realization is more than knowing all about yourself, and knowing all about your individual self is a critical, necessary step along this pathway to deep self realization with a capital S, and to living the life of your dreams consciously with so much love and joy. So, I'm going to be sharing some of the dreams that I have copied and pasted at the bottom of my dream journal for you. I'm going to read the summary that I typed into my dream journal, the transcription from my voice recordings, and then I'll share with you how this was meaningful and helpful for me. And in particular, you'll see the connections that I'm making and some really good examples of this symbolic language of dreams. This work is way more than just something that's entertaining. It's absolutely life-changing. It turns out every single night when we go to bed, we can receive super helpful insight and guidance and open up to literally the life of our dreams and see that happening in the waking dream of our reality. So, this is my intention in sharing this work with you for free to help you help yourself through deeply knowing yourself and transforming your relationship to certain parts of yourself, and also opening up to different ways of seeing things and literally following your dreams. So, without any further ado, let's get started. The first dream I'm going to share with you is the first of many dreams that I had during this 40-day practice I did when I had come back to Florida, where I am now after living for quite a while in Costa Rica. The inquiry I made, the prayer before I went to bed was, please show me just what it is I should be doing in my life. I have this job opportunity here that pays a bunch of money, and they're in the process of writing up an offer for me. And I'm just not sure if it's right. Can you please show me just what I should be doing now that I'm back here in Florida? So, the first dream that I had in this specific practice and inquiry goes like this. I'm looking for a place to move and talking with a man I know from Costa Rica. I let him know I'm in a transition and I'm just not sure where I should move to. I'm close to creating the perfect place, but I'm not quite there yet. I tell him I need to keep working with my dreams to create the perfect place. He recommends that I check out something called New Pixel. It's a podcast show I'd never heard of before. So the scene changes briefly, and I see that I had bought some HDMI cables, which is a certain kind of cable that you can connect your computer to a display with. And I noticed that this cable needed to go a long distance because I was relocating my computer to a shelf high up in an adjacent room. And I thought to myself, well, HDMI doesn't really go that far stably. That's a long stretch. And then a feeling that I had in the dream experience felt or knew that this is a particular kind of cable and it goes a really long distance and it's stable. As I was having that thought and got that brief interjection in the dream, I overhear his wife, and she ends up coming close to where we are, and she had overheard our conversation, and she suggests that I look into Sarah font, which again was totally random. What does Sarah font mean? So in going through this dream in my Dreamwork processing practice, the first thing that I do is I will type up above the summary of the dream anything in particular that seems to be popping out. Of course, I create a title for the dream next to the scene of that night. In this case, I'm calling it New Pixel and Sarah Font. What should I be doing? I feel into just what kind of dream this is. Is this a symbolic dream? Is this direct guidance? Is this a precognitive dream, an environmental dream, a lucid dream, etc.? I give myself the opportunity to consider multiple points of view. And for me, in going through this dream, it seemed that, yes, it was symbolic and that these symbols were being used to point to something. It was also direct guidance. It was not just a symbol about myself and what's going on in my own consciousness. In this case, the dream seemed to be a direct answer to my inquiry. What should I be doing with my life? And the way that I interpreted this dream is I thought to myself, well, what might be the significance of sending video over a long distance? What does that mean? Why am I being shown that when I'm asking what should I be doing with my life? And when I really thought about that, my intuition told me I should be continuing to record videos and sharing them for free with as many people as find their way to them. And it was interesting that the new pixel that this man mentioned seemed to be a podcast show, or it was a podcast show that he was pointing to. And for me, that is suggesting making some new content, some new video content, and to send that over long distances. His wife randomly tells me I should check out Sarah Font. And when I first revisited this dream and I thought about it, it didn't click. And then the next day, I'm driving down the road and all of a sudden I got it. I thought, Sarah Font. There's something about font. Like on Word, you select the font, which is a style of writing. And for me, in my own soul, in my feelings, the word Sarah evokes a certain feeling, a certain correlation with the word Sarah. For me, that word feels really pure. It's really a loving essence. Some people say that Mary Magdalene and Yeshua had a child, their offspring was Sarah, for example. And that's a correlation that I make, which again is unique to me, but it brought me to this feeling and this connection of love and the teachings of Jesus and mystical Christianity and a lot of things that are really meaningful to me. So I thought about that and I thought, well, gosh, what is this Sarah font pointing to? And then I remembered my book. I've been writing a book on and off. And it felt to me most true that this dream and this character who showed up in the dream, the feminine, perhaps representing an aspect of my own inner feminine, inviting me to continue to write and to make sure that the style of writing that I'm writing is coming from a place of love and not ego, that it's pure in the way that I feel that name Sarah evokes for me. So after having processed each dream, and I recommend this same practice for people who I help as a Dreamwork guide, I say the words out loud to my higher self or whatever that is that brings the dreams. I wrap up the dream interpretation by saying, thank you so much for bringing me this dream. It really feels that this is in direct response to my inquiry. What I'm getting from it is it seems that I should continue to record videos and to start working on my book again and to be careful and attentive to the energy, the intention, and even the words that I choose, the energy that comes through the writing in this book. Make sure it's coming from a place of love and perhaps even a reminder to connect with a feminine energy as I'm writing that. And then the third step that I say in this wrapping up a particular dream takeoff is I say, thank you. I say, thank you. This is what I'm getting from it. The third step is, and this is what I intend to do with it. And I say it out loud because that same part of me that brings me the dreams every night is also listening to every single word that I say. It knows everything that I am experiencing in life and have for my whole life, which is why it's uniquely suited to pick a certain symbol or thing that I will draw a correlation to that no one in the whole world will know I will like that part of myself. So the third step in wrapping up a particular dream process is I say, this is what I intend to do with it. So in this case, I said, I'm going to continue to record videos and I'm going to commit to at least 3 days a week working on my book and paying attention to the energy and the intention and words behind it, making sure that they come from love. So, hallelujah, very first dream in this 40-day committed practice got me really clear guidance on what I should be doing. Well, I'm considering, should I be taking this job with these guys or not? Just what should I be doing? So I'm definitely getting reinforcement to continue sharing some things over video and continue writing my book. Still not sure if I should take the job or not, but that dream definitely reinforced those other things that I'm doing with my life. The next dream was short and sweet, and it came while I was meditating a couple of days later in my morning practice. I'm wide awake, and this full-on movie shows up just like I'm in a dream when my mind was still, and I gave myself 20 minutes to sit in silence. So this vision that I had, or this movie that I experienced, like a dream, I have a clear vision, and I see a multi-conductor cable with 7 wires. Each wire is terminated with a male and a female connector. So imagine a cable, and then within the shield of that cable, there's 7 different wires inside of it. Now, each of those wires were color coded. They were different colors on the end. And it happened that those 7 colors all corresponded with the colors of the rainbow. And they were terminated, one end with male connectors, one end with female connectors. And as I saw that in the vision, I'm looking at it, this straight wire with the connections on the end bent around and formed a circle. And the terminated ends of male and female were connected to one another. And it completed this circle. And I had a sense that this related to the primary chakras, all interconnected and wiring and firing together in harmony. So this dream is what it is. There's not a whole lot that I am going to do with it, except to continue to do my practice, to stay clear, to do all the things that I'm doing to maintain harmony in my physical and emotional and spiritual bodies, and to continue to do the chakra clearing and cleansing practice that I do often before I go to sleep at night or in the mornings when I'm doing a meditation. So thank you for showing me that dream. It's encouraging. The next dream that I have finds me with my former business partners at this company that I used to be a partner in San Francisco. The guys that I was in business with, I helped them grow this company over 6 years of a ton of work and time. And I found out that they were misrepresenting the books to the IRS and a bunch of other things that they were doing, trying to be clever, even though we were making a ton of money. They were cutting corners to try and make even more money. And when I learned about this, I ended up resigning. It just didn't feel right. It wasn't in alignment. And it took a lot to walk away from all of that money in future years as a co-owner in the company. But I followed my guidance, and I'm really glad that I did it. So for some reason in this dream, I'm with these guys again, and somehow I know that they're going to be starting a new office, a new division in the Bay Area where I used to live. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I should entertain this because I made a ton of money with these guys before. Maybe they've changed. And this is a bit different. This is going to be a high-end residential focus instead of uh, the corporate stuff that we were doing before. And there's a conference call that happens while we're all sitting together, and whoever's on the other end of the call was supposed to inform me of some things that they were required by law to share with me. This person on the other end of the call was one of the partners who wasn't there with us, who was also involved with them and, collaborating and co-funding, starting this new thing, apparently. So I'm on a conference call with this person, and I could barely hear them. The voice was really soft, and it just didn't feel right to me. And so I said, I can't hear you guys. If you have something to tell me, I need you to speak up. And it seemed obvious that they weren't being upfront. They were having whispering conversations. She felt like they were being intentionally deceptive. So again, regardless of how this all played out and looked in the movie, the most important thing for me, I find, in these symbolic dreams is, what's the feeling? How am I feeling? There's this imagery that shows up, and underneath the imagery and the way this movie looks, what's the main feeling underneath it? And in this case, the feeling that I have was that these guys weren't honest. And then I thought to myself, well, why am I in this dream and having this feeling of potential business partners who aren't honest? How might this relate to what is going on in my life and what I've been asking for in my dreams? And then I thought about it, and it was obvious that this is the energy, this feeling, this dynamic is similar to what's going on with these other business people I'm talking with in a similar high-end residential offering, inviting me to come and work with them. And something about it felt shady. Something about what was going on in the dream was showing me they weren't being entirely upfront. So this is one way that we can learn what's really going on beyond what our conscious mind and even our waking experience might show us in life. We can magically see what's really going on. If someone's deeply connected with their dreams and receiving guidance like this every night, they're going to know if you're lying to them. And this is how it works. So this dream showed me really clearly something that I needed to see, that my conscious waking experience wasn't showing me. So I make a mental note underneath the title of the dream. I call this Bad Business Partners. The kind of dream for me seems to be clearly symbolic, using symbols and a metaphor to teach me something directly in my life. And for that reason, I also put down, it feels to me this is direct guidance, direct teaching as well. So thank you for showing me this dream. I'm making a mental note that these people I've been meeting with and the offering they're putting together may have some shady undertones, and they may not be the kind of people I should be partnering with in business. All right, so the next dream, I find myself with this guy who's selling CDs, and I tell him I'm not interested in electronic music. And he says, no, you'll like these. And it happens that we're in a mall, and both of us go into a music store because he wants to play his CDs on a listening station in this store. So we go into this store, and I don't think we even listened to anything, but there's a store clerk in there throwing candies on the ground. And for some reason, the guy I'm with bends over and picks up a few of the candies on the ground. And I do too, even though I don't eat candy almost never. And that was it. So again, I look at what kind of dream this is. To me, this is symbolic, and it also happens I was lucid in the dream. I was aware I was dreaming while this and a few other dreams that night were happening. Lucid dreams doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking over control of the dream. It simply means that you're aware you're dreaming while you're dreaming. So I was lucid, and yet I wasn't trying to take over control of what was happening in the dream. I was receiving the guidance through this metaphorical language playing out before me. So thank you, higher self, for bringing me this dream. What I'm taking from this is that there is some sort of temptation in my field. For me, candy in my dreams usually is pointing to something that is not really good for me. And if I choose to eat that candy or take candy, I'm being shown that there's something that I'm picking up or paying attention to or consuming that's not helpful for me in my life. And the music for me is all about frequency. It's there's so much to music, but perhaps the metaphor of music is a frequency and energy of someone around me that I, in this dream, I didn't want to listen to it. He takes me into this place to listen to it, and I end up not even listening to it. And he ends up picking up some candy, and for some reason, because I'm with him and I'm not, even though I was lucid in this dream, I watched myself bend over, pick up the candy. So thank you for bringing me this dream. What I'm taking from it is there's something in my field that's not really that good for me, and that there's a part of me that is being tempted to partake in it and to be aware of it. So the next dream, I'm in an airplane and I make my way to the very front where the cockpit is. There's two ladies there, an older lady and a younger lady, and they have ice cream and they show it to me. The scene changes and I'm in an elevator in the airplane and it starts dropping. And I realize there's a major problem. The elevator lost its connection and is falling fast with me in it, heading towards the ground. I realize that I might die, and somehow before I hit the bottom, the side of the elevator opens up and some airmen are there who worked at the airport. And they say to me, "Come on out, you're okay." So thank you, higher self, for bringing me this dream. For me, the symbol airplane represents my forward momentum in life because it's a vehicle that I'm in. And when I'm in an airplane, I have an opportunity to see things from a higher perspective, from an elevated state. And it's usually a very positive, it's showing me a very positive upward movement projection in my life. In this case, I'm in this airplane at the opening scene, and then someone offers me some ice cream. And I'm all of a sudden in an elevator and I drop, which in my hilarious dream language is showing me something is there that's affecting your vibration. This temptation could be, really harmful. Pay attention. Maybe I shouldn't go after that ice cream. And again, to me, ice cream or candy is usually something tempting that might not be good for me. And again, in fact, I think all of these dreams, at least most of them, are during this 40-day practice where I was really focused on deciding whether or not to accept this job offer. It's another dream showing me basically the same thing the last one did, that there's something out there that's tempting. And if I go after it without following my clear guidance in my dreams, it will potentially take me off of this forward, upward moving projection I'm moving with in my life and create some suffering unnecessarily. All right. So the next dream, I find myself on the phone, and I had a couple of calls with this lady. This thought comes that I'm going to be shipping her company some stuff because someone has passed away. I call the lady and ask her if she can help me with some things. She explains some things And then I lose my connection with her. Somebody significant in my life was going to be going somewhere and I needed to go with her. This person usually gets up early and I don't. I want to change and clean some things up before we leave. And I'm concerned that she's going to leave before I'm ready. I ask her, when are you leaving? And in response to that, she says she brought me some emails. And I asked again, when are you leaving? Can you tell me the time? And she said she had a doctor's appointment at 9:08. I called the other lady that I was talking with back again and I asked her name. And she says it's Baby Girl, which is the name of one of the dogs on the property where I live. Baby Girl's an amazing dog. I just love her so much. So in the dream, I realized that I had left some electronics on the path of a sprinkler system and they're getting wet. I grabbed them and I put them inside. I'm not sure when this person is going to be leaving. I got disconnected from the lady I was speaking with again. I call her a fourth time and finally got a hold of somebody. So that was the dream. And without, breaking all this down by detail and taking a whole lot of time to do that, I'm going to continue to just give you the wrap up and you'll get a good sense of this as I do more of these. So thank you to my higher self and the divine for bringing me this dream. To me, this feels like a precognitive dream. It feels like in my gut, this is showing me that somebody close to me in my family may be transitioning out of their body in the future somehow. The sprinklers, to me, whenever I am taking a shower or there's sprinklers, it's showing me, it's pointing to some things that need to be cleaned up, some purification. So when the sprinklers showed up spraying on top of my computer in this dream, I thought of some emails that I had sent to this person that really weren't all that loving. I was pointing to some things that happened in the past, and I didn't balance that with appreciation and gratitude and tenderness. That was the connection that I made after listening to this dream. I just thought about this person, like, wow, what if this person leaves their body? I remember the emails that I sent, and I need to clean that up. I need to, revisit that and really let this person know how much I love them and appreciate them for all that they've done for me in my life before they die. And the theme of disconnection in this call is something else that I'm paying attention to. I see that there has been disconnection with this person throughout my life. And this dream is showing me that this is significant, something that is inviting me to attend to. So thank you for bringing me this dream. That's what I get from it. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to write an email to this person and I'm going to follow that up with a phone call and really be attentive to my thoughts when I think about this person and to step out of judgment and to choose love and compassion and understanding. The next dream is another lucid dream. I'm fully awake in this dream. and still not taking control of it in the way that I do in many lucid dreams. So in this dream, I find myself with an Asian monk. Very often my teachers in dreams are monks. So I'm with this monk who I've spent a lot of time with in my dreams over the years. And he is learning from a particular grandmaster in the same lineage that we're both studying in. I've never worked with this grandmaster before or met him. And in the dream, he is doing this demonstration. There's a bunch of people in a circle around him, and he's doing, at first it was Qigong, and then it got faster and faster, and then it looked like he was doing like break dancing. And for some reason, I was following the pattern he was making with his feet, and it was making a pattern of the number 27. And for some reason, I felt that that was particularly significant. Not only what he was doing with his movements, but the pattern that I could see when I was really paying attention. So I asked the other monk about it after this man finished. And he seemed to be really interested in the details of what I was sharing with him and the perspective from which I was seeing things. I told him I don't know why this is significant. And he says, the meaning is love. Love is the answer. Which again was totally random because I'm asking, what's the meaning of the number 27? And he says, the meaning is love. Love is the answer. Something about the pattern 27 in this teaching dream from a master will likely be revealed in the future. So thank you, higher self, for bringing me this dream. What I'm receiving from it is that there is something about perhaps the number 27, and more importantly, paying attention to patterns, maybe patterns in my own life. And when I'm seeking for answers from a teacher or teaching, love is the answer. Seems like love is always the answer. And it's coming from a, a monk, a spiritual master who I have a lot of respect for. It's kind of funny. It's also really profound. Watch the patterns and follow love. Love is the answer. In this next dream, I'm with a former coworker of mine named Nate. We're at a ski resort towards the top of a mountain. We're not quite at the summit. And I see a T-bar lift to our right, which goes all the way to the mountaintop. And for some reason, Nate decides to hoof it uphill to the left and make his way to a part of the mountain which isn't all the way to the top, but there's a skiable path there. And I start to follow him for some reason, even though I could have easily taken the right-hand path all the way to the top instead. So again, for me, this is a symbolic dream. I wasn't lucid in this dream. And it also seems to be really aligned with this inquiry of just what to do in my career and with my life, what to pay attention to. When I'm skiing in my dreams, one of the correlations that I make in my unique dream language of skiing is there's a slippery slope that I'm on. Like this could be, it could be I'm on a slippery slope and to pay attention. A mountaintop in dream language for me and for most people represents a really elevated state of consciousness, a very high perspective of seeing things. The left and the right is significant for me. usually points to either my left brain or my right brain. The left brain being the really analytical, creating a plan kind of thing, using logic to figure things out. The right hand, the right brain is more creative. It's more of a feminine receiving guidance. And it's actually way more fun and easy. This is where we learn in our dreams. Turns out we don't have to make such clear, concrete plans when we're receiving this amazing guidance in our dreams every night. That shows us the way and often helps us bypass some unnecessary suffering and time. So, thank you for this symbolic dream. What I'm taking from it is that this is also related to my inquiry and what I'm asking for in my dream work right now, which is what should I be doing with my life? Should I accept this job opportunity with these guys at this company? These engineers who feel a lot like this character, Nate, who showed up in the dream. He was super intelligent, an amazing engineer. And I'm being invited to go all the way to the mountaintop. I could take a detour off to the left. I could try and figure things out. It's not going to take me all the way to the mountaintop. And it might be a difficult journey. So what I'm going to take with that is I'm making another note. Maybe this high paying job I'm being offered in a similar field that Nate and I worked in is not going to take me all the way to the mountaintop, and it's a bit of a detour. All right. So the next dream I will share here is, I mean, it's just dream after dream after dream. It's very similar teaching using different symbology over and over again. So I'm going to skip some of these dreams. I suspect by now you're getting a good gist of why this practice is amazing and important. It's the best teacher in the world for us. And when we make this connection, it's absolutely free. A gift that keeps on giving every night that will guide us in our life remarkably. So, on this next dream that I'll share, I'm married to a lady who's there in the dream with me. I didn't recognize her, but for some reason I had this feeling I'm married to her. She feels like my ex wife who embezzled a whole bunch of money from me. My first marriage that lasted 11 months before I found out she had stolen a whole bunch of money. My ex-wife liked flashy and expensive things. In the dream, she had bought a bunch of designer clothing to give to her two brothers for Christmas. And this is something that she actually did in real life. And it just felt like weird. It was like just a pretentious show that she could spend all this money and buy fancy things for her siblings who couldn't afford them. And it just felt really egoic and yucky. So in this dream, that happened, and her siblings that she gave the clothing to, her two brothers, are sitting down just after they received this super expensive designer clothing, and they're writing on it with markers, with permanent pen. They're destroying it in a way. And I thought to myself, as they're doing that, actually just before they started doing that, I thought I'd like to return those clothes. I don't like the energy, the way in which this is being shared with them. It doesn't feel right. And I was concerned about how much it cost. How much did she spend on this thing that was all about her ego? And I was upset about it. So thank you for showing me this dream. This is really helpful. It seems to be showing me something about my relationship with money in the past. and the way that I tried to impress others with the money that I had, and wasn't really in integrity with money, and what that cost me in my life and in my relationship with this person, and all the things that I learned through that journey. So what I'm taking from this is to really look at the influence that money, another high paying job that I'm contemplating, might have. Am I gonna take this job because it pays a lot of money? Is that the only reason or the main reason? What if it didn't pay so much? Is this really what I'm passionate about, what I feel called to do in my life? And this is how dream work works. It's amazing, over and over and over. Very often 5, 7, 8, or even more dreams in one night. And I've shared mostly shorter dreams in this particular video because I didn't want to draw it out way too long. It's already been quite a while. And I know that in sharing what I just did, you are able to see how we can receive amazingly helpful and clear guidance if we simply ask and we learn this practice, we follow the protocols that I describe and recommend in the How to Remember Your Dreams videos. We start recording our dreams every night with a dream journal recorder, a voice recorder, and then we transcribe those dreams into a digital document or a handwritten dream journal notebook. And then the next step is processing those dreams, reading, giving yourself plenty of time to go through all those dreams, consider them from different perspectives. The categories of dreams videos and video in this series breaks down different kinds of dreams and different perspectives from which we might look at the dreams from, so that we can derive the most benefit in our dream work practice. So it's my intention to help you learn this practice and to improve everything in your life, including how you see where you are right now. It turns out over time, we find that actually stuff doesn't have to change for me to feel better. I can learn to do that, to choose happiness, to choose gratitude, irrespective of what's happening in the movie of my life, which it turns out is very much like a dream. And it appears that my dreams, in fact, for me, I know it, my dreams are incubating my reality in the waking experience of life. It's actually more important to track what's going on behind the scenes in that other 90+% of our mind than that small percentage of what the waking mind is aware of. And over time, with more and more dream work practice, you will see why this is true and the gifts that it can bring to you and your life. So thank you so much for spending some time going through a few dreams with me. Thank you again to my higher self, to my soul, to whatever that is, the divine that comes to me every single night in my dreams. Thank you to my teacher who taught me this work. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this life. Thank you for this moment. And thanks to you who are listening to these words. I'm inviting you to continue to listen to the next videos in this series. I'm creating it in such a way that it builds on itself one after the other, so that at the end of the course, this mini intro course gives you the basics so you can start remembering your dreams, using them to guide you in your life and to see your life in reality in an entirely new way, and to wake up, to love yourself and your life and everything in it. All right, everybody. Thank you again. There's more info about the Dreamwork practice and the coaching that I offer. If you're interested in learning more, there's a bunch of resources, videos, links to videos from different Dzogchen teachers about dream yoga, a whole bunch of book recommendations if you're someone who learns through reading. Check out my website, my coaching website at eyesopendream.com. And if this resonates with you, let me know. If there's something that you gleaned from this or something that you think might help me from what you heard and experienced, I welcome all your feedback. And I welcome you to dream with me consciously the beautiful world our hearts know is possible.